The Ryder Cup is supposed to be about golf at its very best. Team against team. Europe against the United States. But at Marco Simone, the story wasn't just about the golf. What started as a small detail about Patrick Cantlay's headwear turned into a full-blown controversy. A controversy that played out on the course, in the media, and even in the car park. They called it Hatgate, the cup that money can't buy. To understand why a missing cap could cause such a stir, you need to understand the Ryder Cup itself. Every 2 years, 12 of the best golfers from Europe face off against 12 of the best from the United States. It's match play, it's team golf, and it's different from everything else in the sport. For 1 week, the world's most individual athletes become part of something bigger. National pride, team loyalty, and sporting rivalry all collide. And because there's no prize money at stake, the Ryder Cup has always been framed as pure competition. Golf for the sake of honor. That's the tradition. And that's what made the events in Rome so explosive. This edition ran from September 29th to October 1st, 2023, and the atmosphere was intense from the start. Where's the hat, Pat? Patrick Cantlay came into the 2023 Ryder Cup as one of Team USA's most reliable players. Calm, consistent, and highly ranked, he was expected to be a steady presence in a team looking to defend its title. But from the very first day in Rome, something unusual caught people's attention. While his teammates wore the traditional Team USA cap, Cantlay didn't. His head was bare. At first, it seemed trivial and just a personal choice. But in the highly charged atmosphere of the Ryder Cup, small details rarely stay small. Reports began to circulate that Cantlay's refusal to wear the hat was deliberate, that he was making a statement. According to Rumours, he was protesting the fact that players don't get paid to compete in the Ryder Cup. If true, it cut right to the heart of the event. For decades, the Ryder Cup had been about pride, not money. To suggest otherwise and then to symbolize it by not wearing the team's uniform was enough to create a storm. Cantlay never confirmed this. He denied it was about money and later put it simply, "The hat doesn't fit." Everyone knows that. He'd had fit issues before, including at Whistling Straits. But by then, the narrative was already moving faster than any clarification could catch up. And once the European fans picked up on it, the story of the missing cap became something much bigger. How a missing hat became the 13th man. If the rumor had stayed confined to journalists and golf insiders, Hatgate might have fizzled out. But in Rome, the galleries were loud, passionate, and ready to seize on anything that could give Europe an edge. It didn't take long for the story of Cantlay's missing hat to reach the fans. And once it did, they made it their own. Every time Cantlay stepped onto a tee box or a green, thousands of spectators waved their hats in the air. They sang songs about it. They chanted about it. What started as a rumor turned into a running motif that followed him around the course. Golf fans are usually seen as restrained. A ripple of applause here, a quiet cheer there. But in the Ryder Cup, the atmosphere is more like a football crowd. And in 2023, the hats became the perfect symbol for Europe's supporters. For them, Cantlay wasn't just a player. He was the man without a cap. A target for chants and pressure. And the more they waved their hats, the more the story grew. By Saturday afternoon, Hatgate wasn't just a distraction. It was the dominant talking point of the entire event. Cantlay's 43-foot answer. Saturday afternoon four balls at the Ryder Cup are always tense. Every point is vital. Every hole feels decisive. By the time Patrick Cantlay reached the 18th green, he and his partner were in a tight match. The European fans had been relentless all day, waving their caps and jeering with every step. But on the final green, Cantlay delivered the moment of the tournament. He holed the approximately 43-foot birdie putt on 18. The kind of putt that swings momentum. It sealed a one-up win in his and Wyndham Clark's match against Rory McIlroy and Matt Fitzpatrick. The U.S. crowd erupted, waving their hats higher than ever. Cantlay, instead of ignoring them, leaned into it. He raised his hand to his head and mimed tipping an imaginary cap. A small gesture, but a pointed one. At the same time, his caddy Joe LaCava entered the spotlight. As Cantlay celebrated, LaCava walked across the green, waving his own cap toward the crowd. In the process, he moved close to Rory McIlroy, who was still lining up a putt of his own. McIlroy asked him to move. LaCava didn't. The two exchanged words, and suddenly the drama of a golf match had turned into a confrontation in the middle of the green. In the Ryder Cup's long history, heated moments aren't unusual, but rarely do they unfold so publicly, with so much emotion, and over something as seemingly small as a hat. Showdown in the parking lot. The tension from the 18th green didn't end when the match was over. As players left the course on Saturday evening, emotions were still raw. Cameras outside the clubhouse caught a remarkable scene. Rory McIlroy, normally one of the sport's calmest and most composed figures, was visibly furious. He pointed, shouted, and gestured. His anger directed at the U.S. caddy team, with Joe LaCava at the center of it. Teammates, including Shane Lowry, stepped in and guided McIlroy away before things escalated further. The images told their own story. Hatgate wasn't just a sideshow anymore. It had spilled out beyond the ropes, beyond the matches, and into the heart of the competition. For fans and commentators, the car park confrontation symbolized the Ryder Cup at its most intense. This wasn't just banter or playful rivalry, it was personal, it was heated, and it showed how much was at stake for both sides. The car park became the defining visual of Hatgate, a reminder that even in a sport built on calm precision, tempers can flare when pride is on the line. Sunday headlines, all hat, no golf. By Sunday morning, Hatgate was everywhere. Broadcasters led with it, newspapers splashed it across their pages, and social media filled with memes of hats flying through the air. For Team USA, it was an unwanted distraction. Instead of questions about form or strategy, the focus was entirely on Cantlay and the supposed protest. Was he really making a stand over money? Was he divided from his teammates? Cantlay addressed the issue directly. He denied that it had anything to do with being paid, insisting the hats simply didn't fit him properly. Other American players backed him up, insisting the team was united. The explanation did little to slow the story. For many fans and media, the idea of a player refusing to wear the team cap over money was too dramatic to ignore. It raised bigger questions about the Ryder Cup itself. Should players be compensated for one of golf's most high-profile events? Or is the spirit of the Ryder Cup rooted in playing purely for pride and tradition? Here's the key nuance. There's no player prize money at the Ryder Cup. Historically, U.S. players receive charitable allocations, not direct pay, a point that often gets lost in the noise of the debate. The discussion ran alongside the matches and for many overshadowed them. In the end, Hatgate didn't decide the Ryder Cup. Europe were simply too strong, winning 16.5 to 11.5 in Rome and extending their dominance on home soil. While the golf produced its share of highlights, including Tommy Fleetwood's clinching point on Sunday, it was the story of the missing cap that lingered longest. For Patrick Cantlay, it became a defining image, fair or not. For Rory McIlroy, it revealed just how fiercely he felt about representing Europe. And for fans, it showed how even the smallest symbol can take on a life of its own when emotions are running high. Hatgate also touched on a deeper issue, the question of money in the Ryder Cup. The debate didn't end in Rome. Afterwards, the PGA of America approved a $500,000 package per U.S. player for 2025, a blend of charitable funds around $300,000 and a stipend around $200,000, signaling that the compensation conversation is evolving. But above all, Hatgate will be remembered as proof of the Ryder Cup's unique intensity. In no other golf event could something as ordinary as a hat dominate headlines, spark chants, and lead to confrontations on and off the course. It was a reminder that the Ryder Cup is different. It's raw, it's emotional, and it's bigger than the shots themselves.